9 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. Good morning. Yes, Bhavna. Morning. Kyle, what is going on? Can you guys hear me okay? My mic's here. So, yeah, let's just, if you could just comment in the chat if you can hear me correctly. And then we can get stuck right in. I'm very excited for this one. It's going to be cool, like looking into Einstein, the way that he, his consciousness, and then utilizing that for ourselves, right? Purifying that and really tapping into that purity, so we can solve life's challenges. Yeah, become a true problem solver. So again, can you guys hear me? It could be a lag. So Bhavna, Kyle, could you? Someone wants to comment in the chat box. I might even go onto here. There we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's have a look. Oh, we're live. Hopefully this doesn't mess up my... Here we go. Hey, man. How we doing? I'm going to give myself a like. How we doing? Yeah, I'm going to save it as well. I'm going to save this video. Okay, sweet. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Beautiful. Okay. So, what is, I mean, for those that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is James, and I'm an expert in, say, frequency algorithms, or uh, um, say human algorithms. Okay, you might ask yourself, okay, well, what the hell does that mean? Well, it means I've basically, so through deep state meditations and really working on myself, cleaning up a lot of stuff over the past decade, I can now literally see like the deeper physics on what makes up human experiences, right? Like why we have, the why behind life, right? The what, why do we experience things? And to me, it's not a mental thing, okay? It's not a mindset. It's not psychology. It's not even energetics, even though that is a part of it, and even your mindset and your mentality is a part of it. It goes beyond that. It goes into your timeless intelligence. Okay, it goes into your timeless intelligence and tapping into the building blocks of humanity, humans. And believe it or not, we are more. We aren't really physical. We're less physical than we might think. Yeah, we're less physical than we might think. Okay, we're literally just like frequency algorithms. Yeah, from a very deep source, which some people would call God, right? Some people would call it the universe. Some people would call it your potential. Whatever label you want to call it, it's the same thing. It's that pure source. It's that purity, that divinity, if you want to use that word. It's that brilliance that we are all fractals of. Hey, guys. Hey, Larry. Hey, Jocelyn. I won't get into questions just yet. I'm just going to get into the flow, get stuck into this, and then I'll get to questions at the end. Yeah, I'll get to questions at the end. But basically, and that's what we're going to be doing, right? We're going to be tapping into Einstein. Yeah, tapping into Einstein and looking at problem solving from a whole new perspective, from a timeless perspective, or a timeless intelligence perspective. Yeah, which is it's a very different way of looking at things than, say, traditional science, traditional problem solving. Okay, because a lot of problem solving, most problem solving is let's think our way through it. Okay, and let's just get straight into it. So if you're watching, just taking a breath in, noticing your environment. So again, just scanning the room that you're in, noticing the details of your room, and just settling into the moment as I help you generate those frequencies during this talk. Because I'll be working on you guys as we go through the content. And if you're new here, again, I jump around a bit. Um, it's how you learn better that way, basically. And we're gonna get into that, right? Because most people, they go, oh, well, what's step one? Then step two, step three. Okay, they use their mental thinking mind to overcome challenges, which is great. It works well to a certain extent, kind of. Not really. It works. It works. You can produce results. But then for some of you, why do the same problems show up after you fix that problem? You might be good for a while and then another problem shows up, similar to a previous problem, even though your physical environment might have changed. Uh, and then for a lot of you that are on the call, notice how your problems solved, yet you didn't really mentally think about solving them. Comment in the chat box if that's happened to you before. Right? Maybe you've worked with me, maybe you've had a session with me, maybe you've done the program, the online program, or you've just whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not really a problem anymore. And then solutions show up for you without really necessarily thinking about it too much. Although you might move into those opportunities may show up as thoughts as well in time. So just comment in. Again, there might be a lag, but comment in if that's happened for you. You can just say yes. Okay. So why does that happen? So just taking another breath in. Why does that happen? Okay. Why does it happen? So it's all about dimensions of self. And you hear me talk about it all the time. And that's because that's the key. Okay. You look at psychology and things like that. And even though it's amazing, we if we're thinking and we're problem solving and we're in the same box, right, of consciousness, or as Einstein said, let me get up his quote. As Einstein said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Right? So, this is what I'm talking about. Einstein, a genius, he knew that, but he couldn't really say tap into it too well, or at least he could. Yeah, he could tap into it, he actually tapped into it pretty well. Or maybe he's just, he tapped into it quite well, and he managed that, say, consciousness, that shift in his consciousness really well, because he didn't get too messed up. You see other individuals, other greats like Tesla, even Elon Musk. Although he's getting better, because I think again, my teacher kind of works on him a lot. Every now and then, he just talks about him. But so it seems as if Elon's really waking up quite a bit as well, like kind of closing down those realities that are around him. He used to be in like 13 different little realities. Anyway, this isn't about Musk, but he shows up anyway. So again, but like individuals like Musk, right, and Einstein and those greats, right, Tesla, they move into a grander consciousness. Okay, they move into a dimension of self that has access to new inventions, new solutions, new, all those things. Yeah, and again, it's a dimensional thing. So if you were here, so sorry, yeah, so you're here, and then there is a higher level solution here, right? They would then say elevate and move into that, say, dimension of self, access that information, and then bring it back. So Tesla did that and got really messed up. Yeah, if you look at images of him later in life, he's old, but he's really mentally, he just kind of lost it. In my opinion, he kind of got a little frazzled, like a little bit messed up at the end, towards the end of his life. Einstein, on the other hand, Einstein seems a lot more. He actually seems a lot more grounded to me. So when I kind of read Einstein, again, abilities that I've cultivated over the past 5 years, I can tap into anyone living or dead and just like I can just see their files. So I can see their algorithms, or what made them brilliant, what made them poor, right? What made them have health issues, what made them, whatever it is, what made them say successful, all those sort of things. It comes down to an algorithm. It's literally an algorithm. It's a program, right? That is just being played out behind the scenes, behind the scenes of this physical reality, right? This physical reality behind the scenes. So just taking another breath in, noticing your pelvis, noticing the base of your spine. And remember to, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Like this video. It goes a long way in, allowing people to access this brilliance that's in them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pretty brilliant guy, but I can't take all the credit, right? I can't take all the credit. I'm helping you access, throughout sessions, access that brilliance that's already in you. Okay, that's all I'm helping you do. Okay. So taking another breath in, noticing your pelvis, your bone structure, your spine, your shoulder blades. And so Einstein, he kind of, it almost looks like he was already there, right? He already kind of lived in that higher, say, consciousness. He knew how it worked at a very deep level. It just like worked for him, So he to me, he seems like he just was lucky, and was able to, have this genius level thinking. Yeah, it didn't obviously start out that way, but it set a trajectory, right? It gave him a pathway to that self mastery, that genius level thinking. So, but he had to start somewhere physically. But behind the scenes, there was that program set in place for him. Now, it does seem as if he did get taxed. Okay, so Einstein, it just looks like he lacked like relationships from what I'm seeing. He didn't really have long-lasting, intimate relationships. I don't know if he had kids or not. It doesn't seem like he had kids. Didn't his family life? It just was kind of empty to me when I look at him, and I haven't looked into his history at all. Again, just using my abilities to see as you take that breath in. But again, that was like the tax, yeah, for his, say, gifts, for his genius level thinking. The cool thing for us is that we don't need that tax. Yeah, we can get rid of that tax so we can have it all. Yeah, we can have it all. Yeah, we don't have to sacrifice or burden ourselves for that high level, say, genius. So just taking another breath in. And it's all about the frequency. So if you're new here, just sit back and relax, listen in. If you fall asleep during the session, during the talk, whatever it is, it's fine. We'll go into a deeper state later on. Again, it's about the underlying frequencies that I'm helping you generate. So even mentally, if it doesn't make sense to you, it's all good. It's not meant to make sense to you right now. Yeah. Because again, people, and it coincides, that statement coincides with problem solving, right? How do we deal with life's challenges, right? How do we actually do it the right way? So again, I'll use this as an example. So for some of you, you might not, it might sound right, but you don't really get it, or maybe you do get it. But I know for me anyway, I like it felt right, but I didn't really understand it, and I was trying to figure it out, right? How this say quantum healing works, and how timeless healing works. Yeah, and like reading algorithms. I got it, but I didn't really understand it initially. And then all of a sudden, I went through the process. Yeah, I committed to myself. I worked on myself. I dove into deep state meditations. I still do. I continue to. You wouldn't have access to these abilities if you hadn't worked on yourself. And just hear me out. I'm not trying to like impress you or anything. I'm just saying that you, when you go through the process, and comment in if you've experienced this, right? You go through the process, and then all of a sudden you just know. It's like you just know. How does that work? Right, you know things, or you can see frequencies and you just know it. Right, you see patterns in people in the world. You just know it. Like your bullshit meter is just like you know it. Yeah, or your problems just shift. Right, they just they literally just dissolve, or say that new pathway for you opens up, and all of a sudden it's new pathway. Okay, why does that happen? Why does, say, those new opportunities, they just literally just open up without thinking about, my goals, my vision, why am I here, and over mentalizing, even though that's a part of it. Okay, it's a part of the process. But we're not working in the mind. We're addressing those deeper layer frequencies, or say your consciousness, the box. I call it your sandbox. So taking that breath in, noticing your kneecaps, ankles, your elbows, hip joint, your wrists, back of the neck, connecting to your skull. So that sandbox, a sandbox in, say, the gaming world is you, uh, you know, you have like resources, and you can create maps, right? You can, if you've ever played like computer games, or in like coding, you have a sandbox where it's like it's basically a program that allows you to trial your code. Yeah, and you can set specific limitations, specific parameters within that sandbox to trial your coding. Yeah, you have access to, say, resources. So for you listening in, for people, true problem solving is accessing a different sandbox of consciousness, or say a dimension of self. So say you start here. So you start here at this point, and your sandbox only really has access to, say, abuse or poverty, and it's not about poverty. I'm just using, like rich and, wealthy in the poverty, It's not about the money, but I'm just using that as an example because you can be super wealthy and be, it's probably, it's actually worse, and super abused, right? Or super burdened. So again, it's not the money though. It's the frequencies, but it's the pattern behind it. It's not the money or the thing. But let's just say you have an abuse program, right? Or a burdening program in this sandbox. Well, if you try and mentalize something here without moving your sandbox, you're going to create it again because that's the limitations that you have. That's say the resources that you have access to in that environment, in that sandbox. So what we do at Timeless, and say the right way to do it, and you can do it outside of Timeless as well, but outside of Timeless or inside Timeless, the right way to do it is by shifting your sandbox, right, or expanding outwards to access, say, grander resources for you, right? So you move your environment, you move your sandbox, and now you have access to, say, abundance or confidence, yeah, or luck, right? Like Einstein without the tax, right? So taking a breath in, you now have access to that resource of luck. So then when you go and create in the world, you're already creating luck. So if you're mentally creating, you're already creating luck because it's a program behind the mental mind. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. And then to go even deeper, as you own that new sandbox of self, you then close off, say, abuse patterns. So you could go into the same environment, and this has happened, right? This has happened with clients of mine. They move into the same environment after going through programs or again sessions, whatever it might be. Their life physically hasn't changed, yet they're the happiest they've ever been, right? They have this peace about them, this calm, right? The problems that used to be problems aren't problems anymore. Okay. And the reason why that is because, again, they're adjusting their coordinates of self, they're adjusting their sandbox. Okay. Right. So they optimize what they have in the moment. And then, give it time. Maybe they outgrow, they've learned what they needed to learn in that environment, right? The physical environment that hasn't changed. Maybe they go to a point where they've taken out those lessons, and then those, like myself, I've gone through that where I've learnt my lessons, I've grown enough, and I've got what I've needed to self-actualize and continue that process of self-evolution, human evolution, and then a new opportunity shows up. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So um, uh, I might take some questions, and I might do a few scans, and then we'll jump into a session just to finish it off. But I'll do some scans first. So if you've never been here before, a scan is where you can just write in, "Hey man, like, can you scan me?" And I can again just see your blueprint, right? I'll just be able to see the algorithms behind why your life is the way it is, and then we can do like a little mini session as well. Okay, and for everyone listening in, especially if your abilities are coming up and they're online, right, and you're refining them, then it's a great learning experience as well, right? You'll looking over my shoulder, accessing that information so you can like refine your own abilities. Okay, and that's also the difference here. Like, I'm not here to like control anyone. I'm not here like I want you guys to be amazing, right? I'm fucking amazing. I'm awesome, and I think you guys are awesome too. Okay, some of you might have some crap in the way. That's all good. It's all sweet, right? Uh, as long as we're moving towards, say, that natural evolution, it's all good. That's fine. And even if not, it's all fine either way. But again, it's open source information here, right? Kind of like Tesla, again, Elon, where he I think anyway, might have to fact check me on that one, but he basically he didn't patent his technology, right? He allowed people to like look at how he was developing his batteries and his cars, right? Because he wants to make the world a better place. Um, yeah, and there's more there. Yeah, there's abundance in the world. So we'll go to Jocelyn. So would love a scan, James. Seeing both new opportunities and resistance too. Okay, so if everyone just wants to take a breath in, yeah, I see that for sure. Yeah. So taking in a breath, Jocelyn, and noticing like the back of your head and your forehead. So like back of the head and the forehead, and the space in between. Yeah. So basically, what's happening for you, Jocelyn, is it's like you're. When I see you, you're like above your body. Um, yeah. So it's like you're. It's kind of like almost like astral projection. I don't know if you practice that or if you do that. Like, do you like lucid dream a lot or like astral project? I don't know, or something along those lines. Because when I see Jocelyn, it's like you're here and then like you're kind of here. So it's kind of, let's just help you come back into your body. Is that cool if we do that? Um, yeah. Yeah, do get lost in thoughts. Yep, yes, exactly. So let's just take that breath in, noticing your sternum, and everyone can do this. There we go. Yep, nice. Yep. So, how does that feel for you, Jocelyn? Yep. Yeah, that was you, sweetheart. That was you. Um, so just maintain that breath. Just stay in this space. Okay. Yeah, because yeah. So if you just, again, spatial referencing is really, and if you want to book in a session, you can. Um, but it probably help quite a bit alongside this. But again, just taking that breath in, staying in this space, and noticing your sternum. And I would just make that a, like a constant. Yeah. So in your own practice, it's like spatial reference, and then just really get fine tuned in that front area of your body. Because it's like what do they call it? Is it paragliding when you get pulled behind the boat? Is that the one? I think it's paragliding, but that's literally you. It's like your essence and like or like your essence in time is the boat, and then you just like float off, and you're like in the sky floating. Hence the overthinking, lost in thoughts, the resistance. right? So if you, yeah, so just really notice your ribs. That'd be really good for you. And even like, I know it kind of sounds funny, but like even like push-ups for you, Jocelyn, like getting in the gym and like lifting weights would actually, because you just, and like, no offense, sweetie, but your muscles just don't seem like, they just feel empty to me. Like the cell function within them, they're just um, like they're basically dead. Not dead, but they want to be activated. There you go. Oh my God, I was just, yeah, just doing push-ups today. There you go. Amazing. Great job. Right? Because your cells are like they want to be alive, basically. And then by doing those push-ups and working on your chest, um, you actually it's like sending out a beacon for your higher self, if you want to call it that, to go, oh shit, that's where I am, and it's just like, yeah. So keep doing that. Keep doing it. Awesome. And a lot of pull and a lot of pull to do weights. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no worries. All good. Yeah. Follow that pull. It's a pull for a reason, sweetie. So awesome. We'll go to Bhavna and then Ollie. Bhavna, you still there? Oh, and don't forget to give this a like, guys. If you're enjoying it, give the video a like. And if you're new here, we do this every Wednesday, okay? Every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, Sydney, Australia time. We dive into topics and then dive into, say, the frequencies of those topics. So, Bhavna, yes, I am. Okay, amazing. Yeah, Bhavna. So, yeah. Yeah. So kind of similar, Bhavna. In a way, but it's like because again, you've transformed so much, sweetie. It's like it's like a whole new level of mastery now for you. Like it's literally like, oh, it's like I've read this book. All right, now let's get this book. And it's a whole new set of like rules for you and concepts. So just be easy on yourself, sweetie. You're not going backwards, okay? Um, yeah, so just taking that breath in, Bhavna, noticing your heart space. Again, noticing your heart space, sternum, heart, ribs connecting to the back of your spine. And for you, I know I think you've got two sons, but for you, imagine if you had a daughter. So just imagine if you had a daughter. See how that shows up for you. And just notice and imagine she's going through a bit of a rough patch, or she's going through some growth, right? She's learning a new skill set, or, she's just started seeing boys, or girls, but, boys, right? And she's like, there's that emotional, like, intelligence, learning curve, right? Social intelligence. Maybe she's gone to a new school, or it's like, yeah, a new school or a first day of school or something like that. And just notice how you look after her. right? Notice that and remember that. Right? Because that little girl, sweetie, that's you. Nice. And again, for those listening in, uh, follow along as you stay in this space. Because if you're running a similar pattern, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. It'll be beneficial for you as well. Nice job. How you feeling? Oh, you don't have to answer that. Just stay in this space, sweetie. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. So beautiful, guys. My gosh. Man, I want a mum like Bhavna. How beautiful. Lovely. So, where are we going? Ollie. Ollie, hey James. Molly. Okay, Molly would love a scan, please. Okay, sweet. So Molly, are you still on? Just comment in if you're still on. No worries. No worries. All good. Yes. Okay. Amazing. Molly. Yeah. Oof. Awesome. Intense, but awesome. So, Molly. Basically, what's happening, sweetheart, is just taking a breath in. Because and maybe it's because of, I mean, not because of, but maybe because, are you both doing the program? Is Molly jumping in with you, Ollie, every now and then? Or is it just you? Um, just comment in. So, yeah, okay, sweet, cool. Well, this is cool, right? Because, so you can blame Ollie for this one, Molly. Uh, that's a joke, by the way. Um, but so what's happening, right, for you, Molly, is you're seeing, how do I put this? Okay, I'll just say it. So you're seeing how fucked up your life has been. Not like, and don't get me wrong, it's probably been a lovely life, but you're seeing it now from a frequency perspective. You're seeing it from a grand, like you're brilliant, like a more brilliant, say again, right? Remembering the positioning, right? Sandboxes. So you're now seeing your life from a grand perspective, from a timeless perspective. Yeah, your grander intelligence. And it's looking at you. So you're looking at yourself and you're going, fuck, like how have I let myself say go in a way? Does that kind of make sense? Even though I'm sure you've got like an amazing job, obviously, relationship, um, you know, you know, but again, it's because You used to, and now you're seeing it. You used to burden yourself like crazy. Sorry, I should do it this way. The camera's reversed. You used to burden yourself and abuse yourself like crazy. Does that kind of make sense? Like in your workplace and even in relationships, pretty much everywhere. Um, and now you're like, man, like I'm a brilliant being. Like I shouldn't burden myself. So now things are like crumbling. Does that make sense? So that's why your life might feel like like it's breaking apart because you're literally breaking apart. It's like, yeah, no, I don't want those settings anymore. So those settings have to, now that you don't have access, like you're moving, now that you're, say you don't have access to those settings, it's like, well, shit, what you created with those settings needs to like break down and then rebuild, right? I know it's pretty intense, but um, you know, I'm just share it how it is. You know, I think it's just better just to be straight up than beat around the bush. But does that make sense, Molly? So just um, so just taking a breath in. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So for you, darling, um, uh, just note and yeah, for you, just taking a breath in and notice your feet. So what I'll help you do is I'll help you just briefly. I'll help you be okay with what you're moving through. Okay, so it's kind of like the CBD oil of your nervous system, right? I mean, I don't use CBD oil, but basically just helping you smoothen the process and be okay with it. And again, you're doing such a wonderful job. Like in the past, this sort of stuff would have taken you out. Like this much change, and again, this is such a perfect example. Um, it's like this much change and this much like uncertainty, Molly, it would have totally fucked you up in the past. Like you wouldn't have been able to handle it because it's like, oh, I need like again, right? But because and again, you've done sessions with me, I know. But because say Ollie is moving through the, and it's not Ollie, but it's because you're in the space, right? And it's the time that we're in, right? Because you have literally like, and it's not, and I'll just reiterate, it's not because of Ollie, okay? It's because of you, yeah. And it's the time that we're in, and you're just you're amongst it, right? You have grown, you have grown a lot, even though you might not, maybe this might be like the most intense time of your life, but to me, you're actually more, say, awakened and more solid, or at least becoming on the way to it now than ever before. Yeah, than ever before. And that's why you can handle it now. That's why shit's kind of breaking and you're like, yeah, fuck, my gosh, but I'm okay. Like it'll be okay, right? So that deeper sense of knowing, sweetheart, is again that is just it's huge for you. So I just want to like highlight that. So focus in on that and give yourself credit. Like give yourself like a pat on the back. Yeah, like a high five. Because it's big stuff, right? And you're doing a really good job. Okay. And yeah, I would, yeah. If you feel if you can, I'd book in a session. If you can, but it's up to you. Um, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool, but it's intense though. and I get it, right? It's intense, and I had a call with a lovely guy early this morning, and his life's like it's kind of similar. Like he's like, fuck, like my life, what have I been doing? Even though he's had a very successful life, but again, from a frequency perspective, it's like shit's really hitting the fan for him. And you might even be listening. I'm obviously not going to mention a name for privacy reasons. But to me, it's like this is what an opportunity. When I see him, when I see individuals like Molly, it's like wow, like you're growing. You know, but maybe a psychologist or even like a traditional coach, like mindset coach. I mean, maybe they would see it. The more say intuitive coaches would probably, and there are some out there. There's probably some on this call as well that still say like use forms of NLP and it's not about the modality, guys. It's not like you could be like an awakened NLP practitioner and like create phenomenal transformations in people, right? Or you could be a distorted NLP practitioner and like fuck people up. Right. And it's the same with frequency healing or like quantum energetics. Like you could really fuck people up if you don't do it right. If you're not operating from like a pure standpoint. Yeah. And it can happen to people. It can. So, but say that distorted style of say therapy, they might see someone like, Molly or, or this individual and be like, mate, like you need to set a new standard. The motivation might not be there, right? And you're like, man, why am I just so deflated? Like I can't be asked to go to the gym, or I can't be asked to do whatever it is. And your manager at work or whoever it might be like, okay, how are we gonna get this guy going? We got to get him pumped up. We got to get him, focused, on his why. And it's like, hate to break it to you, has nothing to do with that. And when you awaken, guys, and you have to in the time that we're in, I just accelerate it like I was gonna, I really accelerate it for you, like a badass, or you don't, right? The time that we're in, you're either awakening or you're not. Okay, it's ones and zeros. It's literally like, yep, I'm growing, and you hear like, you hear people talk about it. You're either growing or you're dying. Now that the time we're in, that statement is really true. Okay, but again, not like in the traditional sense. For example, that motivation, right? It's dying. You're dying, or things are crumbling. Your life's crumbling physically, but at a deeper level, what it means, and again for Molly and for this bloke, it's you're recalibrating, right? And this is how deep this stuff goes, guys. Like you change your settings, so then your life, it just has to. It has to, and it's not up to me. It's not up to Molly. It's not up to this gentleman. It's not up to our minds. Okay, I mean, eventually later on, kind of. But even then, it's not. It's your purest potential. It's your timeless purity, right? It's your purity that's coming through. That then you receive it as thought. You receive it as passion. You receive it as sadness, grief, emotions. Happiness, drive. Yeah, those success patterns. You receive it. That's an after effect through the physical, right? And then that's where those emotions work for you, whether it's grief, anger, or excitement, or content, peace, calm, luck. Yeah, it's an after effect of nurturing that purity within you and operating and expanding into those resources, and then you can use those resources here. Like, because you are the resource, you are luck, you are abundance, you are the knowledge, right? You just are, instead of trying to reach for something outside of you that might work for a little bit, but then it would tax you. Hence, Einstein, using his genius, again, has done it a lot better than other individuals in terms of like the frequencies and the patterns, but again, still had that tax, right? Okay, I can have this, but I can't have that. So, yeah, you can have it all. You really can. Yeah, and you really can have it all. So, all right, guys, we might leave it there. Might just leave it there. We'll take. We'll do 2 because it's 50 minutes. It's nearly 10 o'clock, pretty late. I'll do 2 more quick ones. Okay, we'll go to Hillary and then Kyle. Man, I need some water, guys. Far out. Man. Whenever I because I'm just in this space for so long, like pretty much all the time. Yeah, I need yeah. So drink water, guys. Drink like nice filtered water if you can, and put like minerals in it as well, like electrolytes, like potassium, particularly. Really, yeah, good for your brain like just the transportation of nutrients to those vital organs. So, because we're changing a lot here, you're like really, yeah. So, Hillary, are you still on? We were gonna do a group medi, weren't we? But I suppose you guys can just stay in this space, just meditate, listening to this, and again, the frequencies are there. This little vortex is here anyway. All right, Hillary, if you don't respond in 5 seconds, we're going to go to Kyle. 5, 4, 3. I know there's a lag. 2, 1. Okay, Kyle. Kyle, Kyle, are you here as well? Is Kyle here? Yes, sir. Okay, amazing. Okay, so all right, so taking that breath in, Kyle. Yeah. So for you, brother, you're like shedding that boy off you. So if you, yeah. So like again, when I see you, it's like it's like it's like you're a cicada. Do you know cicadas? Or even like not ants, or even like spiders. Some spiders do it, where like your shell is like peeling off you. So like when I see you, it's like like the front side of you and like extended. It's like the boy. It's like boy Kyle, little boy Kyle, or like boy, or or any reptile, and it's like in front of you. So that's you may have felt like a boy or like being like what the fuck, like questioned it as well, and like had moments of like damn, like do I really do that? Or even with like some mates of yours, you might feel a little bit like things that you used to do, you're now like And it's not to be like boring or like not fun. It's just say the boy patterns in you are really like peeling off you. Does that make sense? So, um, so just taking another breath in, guys. Yeah. So if you want, we can just say, all right, man, I've enjoyed you, but let's use you as nice fertilizer for my soil. Let's use this skin to nurture the soil that I'm now on for that next growth. So for the man to start to support the upcoming man. To say like prepare for that journey of like manhood. And like obviously you're a man, but like at a deeper level. So just say yes. You don't have to comment it in, but just like say yes to yourself. Nice. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Noticing your sternum, your ribs, your chest, your heart space, that area. Yeah. So you're going to go, yeah. Enjoy the process, man. It's kind of like a mini death for you. So you might enter into like that death space that like, so just be aware of that. It might happen. Which is a good thing, by the way. It's great. Nice. There you go. Yeah. Again, it's totally up to you, man. But I suppose you can hold on to that version of you if you want. It just might not feel the same. Yeah, it might not feel the same for you. Okay, so again, because you've shifted, and then when you go back, because you've shifted, it just might not feel the same. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, Serena, how could I say no? All right, just a quick one, and then I'll head off. Do you want to just take a breath in, Serena, sweetheart? I can't. I gotta say yes. Gotta say yes. Uh, yeah. Yeah. You seem to be doing really well. It's like kind of similar, but you're like so just taking in a breath in, Serena. So for you, I see like a few people around you, or maybe you're in like a mastermind or something, um, like a program or coaching, or I don't know. But I see like there's literally like three, um, basically, because you're quite awakened. Like you're more awakened than you think. Let's just put it that way. You're more advanced than you think. Okay, like I'll just say it. You're a badass. Yeah. You've done a lot of work on yourself. Yeah. A lot of like timeless intelligence work or XI work with Mars, right? Um, so again, really lovely abilities, fantastic abilities. Again, a lot of luck coming through for you. But then it's like, oh, uh, and it's not even that pattern. It's just this is probably just a learning curve for you. You probably kind of just had to go through it to really confirm like how brilliant you really are, and how far you've come. Because whoever you're involved with, I just see like three people around you. They're basically pulling you. They're trying to pull you into like their world, or like the consciousness, or say the sandbox that they live in. And you're going, well, it's like, great, like you have the money, but fuck, your frequencies are messed up. Like they're fucked up. Like I don't want that. Like my best self is this way. Sorry, I should point that way. It's that way. And so you're like pulling against them. You're like pulling them with you almost. Um, and then give it time, and you're just going to be like, yeah, well, whatever. Like I'm just going to go my way, which is fantastic. Does that make sense, Serena? I really like this chair. I really like it. It's my grandma's chair. It's really nice. It's like this beautiful cane back in I think the 50s. I can't remember when it was bought. Excuse me, when it was made, but I think it's cane. Damn, it needs repairing. I really like it. But Serena, does that make sense? I don't know if there's a lag, or seems like there's quite a big lag. And then we're going to call it. I'm going to count down from 10, and then I'm going to say my goodbyes. And if it's the lag, it's the lag. 10, 9, 8. I still haven't seen it come through. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Serena, 1. All right. Where's she gone? Because I see reactions coming through. Serena, where have you gone? I see Jocelyn's lol. I might have frozen. I see Paula's comment. Anyway, Serena, if you get this, um, um, uh, yeah, you can message me if you want. All right, guys, amazing sessions. Apologies we didn't get into like the group session, but this is quite potent for everyone. Even if you're not, even if I didn't scan you, still very beneficial for you. Awesome. Nice, guys. All right. Well, again, if you haven't given this video a like, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in 6 days. No, another 7, yeah, another 7 days, you know? How many hours is that? 7 times 24, 4 times 7 is what? 20, 28. 28 plus 7 times 2 is 14, 140 plus 28, 100 and no, that does not make sense at all. Oh, wait, maybe it does. 128, what did I say? 147? Oh my gosh. 140, 168 hours. Is that right? Come on, let's go. 168. I'm just going to stick it with that, and then if I get it wrong, how many hours in a week? Mate, you saw it here first. That's called Einstein level thinking. 7 to the 4 to the 5. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Maybe her connection, yeah, could be. All right, guys. Much love. Peace. See ya.